Well, here we are. Final four tribal council, one vote away from the final three. Kelsey, congratulations. You have won immunity today, which secures your spot as one of the final three. Paul, Spencer, JB, one of you is going to fall just short of making it to the end. So, you just had a challenge a few minutes ago. Spencer, runner up. How you feeling?
My arm hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you needed it?
For sure. I definitely would have liked it. Would have made me feel a lot better. I think everybody here would like to be wearing the necklace. Only one person gets to though. But I mean, ultimately, I don't think I quote unquote needed it. But
You think you're going to the final tribal?
I mean, there's a 1 in 3 chance, or I'm sorry, 2 in 3 chance.
Who do you think is going home then?
I mean, I could be wrong here, and you could be setting me up to look like a big asshole, but I think that Paul is going to be going home tonight. I love him to death, but I just think that's where the signs are pointing tonight.
Paul, you just threw your name out there. You're side final two apparently. What it seemed like you guys were, thick as thieves. You were as iconic as I don't know, Robin Hood and Batman's Shawnee Boy and Harrison.
Right.
You're right up there with them, but he just threw your name out saying you're going home.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's being pretty transparent, saying that I've played some monster game. I don't know if I would agree with that completely, but they're pretty much set in stone, unless I got a miracle to go.
Oh. Well, Spencer's a little hurt.
Cramping.
Anyway, you and Spencer obviously worked closely together all game.
Right.
So, why did you think people maybe percentages perceive you as a bigger threat than Spencer? Or why should people see Spencer as a bigger threat than you?
I mean, we worked together, but we also kind of had like a yin yang to us. Like, he was the returner. This is my first time playing. Spencer got all the votes pre-merge. I got none. He found idols. I didn't. I won the immunities. He won one. We tipped the scales to where we were pretty balanced, but now we're at the final four. We're looking at each other as sort of we're the people to beat.
So, JB, how do you distinguish between the two?
How do I distinguish between the two?
Yes.
Between Paul and Spencer?
Yes. Is that close between tonight, Paul and Spencer?
I distinguish on what I perceive to be what I perceive the jury's opinions to be. And also what my personal opinion is. I feel like the jury has described Spencer's game as maybe a little more topsy-turvy, very paranoid. Like at the merge vote when they were the round Jabbar went home, people were annoyed with Spencer about how he was with that vote. And Paul has never really been a target in the game. He mentioned it before. He never really, I don't know if Paul has really ever received a vote, to be honest. But that's what makes him. Sorry, what?
You wrote Paul's name down.
I'm the only one that's voted Paul because I wanted to get him out at the last vote. Kelsey and I talked about it. Ultimately, Kelsey felt that it was best to wait one more round. But part of that was me not, talking more with Kelsey about it. But it's certainly something that we talked about. But yeah, so that's how I.
Can I add to that?
Go ahead.
I think he might come off as sporadic, but you have to remember this man got a vote every vote for the entire pre-merge, and he was the target. He was out front. He's the captain. He's the returner. He was the big threat.
But
I wasn't.
The thing is that so many of the people that were targeting me preseason aren't sitting on the jury at this point. I think like I received votes from like Will, Pat, Shawnee Boy, Lauren. I mean, hell, JB voted for me at one point, and Kelsey voted for me at one point. So, yeah, I mean, I've received votes from a lot of people who aren't here, and I don't think that, you know, pre-merge game really shines through at the end when that's not really what people are basing things on.
Well, I think it's also sort of like an Iron Man quality. You've gone through the entire game taking these bullets, and you're going to get to the end, you know, having survived. I think there's something to be said about that. I know if I was on the jury, I would be looking at that as something I would vote for.
Iron Man once said, or Tony Stark once said, that the best weapon that you have isn't one that you need to fire 0 times, but the one that you only need to fire once. And I think everybody was afraid to vote for you, and it showed that people weren't afraid to vote for me because they didn't perceive me as a person who was going to be a threat to them. So I don't think that voting for me was a sign of strength on my end. I think it was a sign of weakness on my end.
So
I disagree with that. I think you want to ask a question, bro?
I mean, if you guys want to keep talking, I'll just sit back and let you do all the.
Well, I mean, I think like you look at it like as far as the captains go, like as far as returners go in this game. I mean, look, like other people played different orgs, but he came in with a visible target on his back, and he's here at the final 4. I know in regular Survivor, if there's any like captains or returners, one always makes it to the final 3, and most of the time they win. If you take them, he's automatically winning.
Sometimes they lose.
Sometimes they lose.
You don't know what's gonna happen.
Is he gonna lose?
I'm gonna win.
So JB, do you think you have a chance to win this game?
Absolutely, I have a chance of winning this game.
Do you have a chance if you're next to Paul and Spencer?
I believe that I have a chance against anyone here because I survived. I've been through the ringer in this game, but I have also made sure that I've made moves that have gotten me to this point. And although maybe it's not the flashiest, although maybe it's not, I have made it to the Final 4, and I'm proud of the game that I've played. And if people think otherwise, then that's on them. I just have to get them to buy what I'm selling, you know?
Right. So you usually, 2 people work close together. You got Paul and you got Spencer. Only one of them, if the vote goes the way it seems, where it seems like it's going to be one of them, only one of them's going to be the end. So it's not a matter of facing both of them, but one. So is one not going to get the same votes that the other one would get because they've done most of the same moves and worked with the same people?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's something that I think all of us have done is forecasting what the jury's going to think. And look, it could very well be that, Paul and Spencer, people see them as very similar, and whoever is there at the end, whether it's Paul or Spencer, will just get all the votes they were supposed to get. And then Kelsey and I will get, the scraps if there are any. But also, I think that there are facets about each. I think that there are negatives about each of our games. There's negatives about my game for sure, negatives about Kelsey's, there's negatives about Spencer, there's negatives about Paul's. And it's about at Final Tribal Council, it's not only just about showcasing your strengths, but it's also exploiting the people's negatives. And I think that I would have an easier time exploiting Spencer's negatives than I would with Paul's negatives. Only because I think that Paul has maybe had fewer negatives than Spencer.
Spencer, have you ever been so happy to hear people say shit about your game?
No. Definitely not.
So, Kelsey, how does it feel to be safe?
Good. The one time I needed it.
Do you think you were actually in danger tonight?
I might have been. Again, this is kind of all over the place tonight, so I mean, it could have been me. But at the same time, it's like I don't have to worry about it now, so I'm not really thinking about it.
Yeah. have Paul and Spencer both approached you about a vote tonight?
Yeah, definitely. Paul Spencer and JB, of course. And it's, again, kind of back and forth. And it's hard, too, because, like, Spencer has had a more social game. He's found more idols, but Paul has won more challenges, and, he's there, too. So it's kind of difficult for me, in the middle. But I'm sure JB feels the same way.
And how persuasive were, because not throwing JB under, it seems like those two are the ones that feel like they're under fire tonight. JB, do you feel safe tonight?
I believe that anything can happen, and that I can't fault the fact that Paul and Spencer have played the game since day one together, and although there was a good portion of the game where I was part of that, I have always had it in the back of my head that maybe Spencer and Paul have a deal that trumps the deal that I had with them. So obvious, like I'd be stupid to say that I'm totally safe tonight, but I also feel like logically for Paul's game, it is not wise to vote me out. Logically for Kelsey's game, it's not wise to vote me out. And logically for Spencer's game, it's not wise to vote me out. I don't think I'm playing with dummies here, Merle. I think that these three are three of the smartest people that were casted. So I think logically they will do the right thing and vote for either Paul or Spencer.
So Kelsey, from my perspective at this tribal, it seems Spencer and Paul are likely voting each other tonight. It seems JB is probably voting Paul based on how he says he's a bigger threat. So that would put you.
I'm voting Chris. Sorry.
What's that?
I'm just gonna say I'm voting Chris.
Okay, he's voting Chris. So that could potentially put you in a spot where you can either make it done deal, Paul leaves, or you could bring Paul to fire making and give him a shot there. So has fire making be something that's been discussed as an option?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's been brought up because, again, if anything, it'd be more fair because they are both super strong regardless. Like, I love you both. But at the same time, it's like, that would make it more even, if they just go against each other. So that's definitely an option, but I don't know.
Could allowing Paul to go fire making be a move that would maybe, hey, you would get respect from the jury, or would it be something that you think the jury would look down on?
I mean, it could go either way. It really depends on the people, I guess.
Yeah. So Paul, seems like you're under fire tonight for the first time in a while. Anything you want to use to persuade? Any last deals you want to make?
I mean, okay, right now it's obvious that it's either going to be 3-1 or 2-2 with fire between Spencer and I. And I think whenever you look at our games and you list them out, I genuinely think that if you take Spencer over me, y'all are for sure going to lose. 100%.
Spencer?
I think that every single person who's here right now has played a very good game in their own respect. And I don't think that any single person is just going to dominate a final tribal at this point. JB has pointed out that everybody's got negatives of the game. And I guess it just comes down to who has the least amount of those. And from my perspective, I mean, I've heard people, like the last two people who have left, have kind of bashed me on their way out and kind of preemptively congratulated Paul on winning. Whether or not they still feel that way, who knows? But I just think that if somebody's trying to win tonight, that the obvious answer is to vote out for Paul.
Well, I think that another thing is, I think while they are bashing you, I think that I've been more behind the scenes, and I think I've honestly burned more people than you have because they got it out of their system there. Once they get back to the jury, they sort of confer as a group and kind of see that I'm kind of a scumbag. Keep the scumbag. Keep him in the game.
We are keeping me in the game, Paul. I mean, yeah.
But I have nothing else to say.
All right. I guess final question, JB. Since you showed the tribal, asking your questions.
Oh, you want to ask me another question?
To
make up for all the times I've missed.
So, yeah. So we got through this. You know, in the past Survivor, sometimes we see someone try to earn a vote from the person leaving, such as maybe a little Paul Spencer, like, "Hey, I'll make you a deal. We go to fire making. You lose, you get my vote, or I get your vote." Has anything like that been talked about?
Personally, for me, I have not been offered that kind of deal. Personally, the way I see it is Paul is saying that Spencer's going to beat us three in the end. That makes me think Paul's going to vote for Spencer if he leaves. Now, that could also deter me, oh, well, maybe if Spencer goes, then maybe I could get Spencer's vote. But at this point, honestly, I'm going to craft my final three if I make it to there. I'm not going to be that guy that's going to jinx it in this whole facade or something, but I'm going to craft my path to the final three however I need to, because I feel like there is a path for me to make it to the end and win that Spencer and Kelsey and Paul don't necessarily have. And it's really the only path that I have left. I do, however, think that, I think, like Spencer said, there's a chance for anyone to win this game at this point. But I think I'm very much in that conversation, and I'm happy to be a part of that conversation, and I'm hoping that this vote tonight will put me further into that conversation with my vote tonight.
We've heard a lot. Does anyone have anything else to add, offer, say, lie, cheat, steal?
Paul, how much money do you want for my vote?
I don't know. I'm not going to buy your vote.
Right.
All right, well, if no one else has anything else to throw out there, it is time to vote. And I'll give you a minute to change your vote. And we will go from there. You can't vote Kelsey, guys. Stop.
I'm here. Sorry.
So, all right. We got the votes. And it is time to now get to the votes. All right. No idols, no advantages. No nothing can come into play tonight. Kelsey, you are safe. That cannot be given away at the final tribal council. So here we go. I think you were. Right?
Best of luck, guys.
All right. First vote. Well, once the votes are read, the decision is final. Person voted out must leave the tribal council area immediately and become the final member of the jury. First vote. Paul. Next vote. Paul. That's 2 votes for Paul. Next vote. Spencer. 2 votes Spencer, 1 vote Paul, 1 vote left. Final vote. And the next person voted out of Survivor, Mayan Mysteries, is Paul. Paul.
Hey.
That's enough. Any final words?
That's enough. Yeah, hey, good game, guys. There's no hard feelings. I look forward to hearing y'all's final tribal. Spencer, we eventually had to go for each other.
Yeah, it was bound.
It wasn't the showdown we talked about, but we still had a showdown.
Yeah. Full tilt, full tilt.
Yeah, full tilt. I didn't know what to expect for my first org, and I've had a blast. And honestly, I'm gonna do more of these. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Paul, it was great having you this season.
Full tilt, brother.
One of our favorites. Chris's favorite. Not gonna lie. But there's no final tribal council trip just for being a favorite, I guess. So I look up to half the tribals.
Yeah.
You guys like the shirts that Paul and I are wearing? Basically the same thing too.
Yeah.
Well, it's time for yeah. Like all good duos, you guys have now been split up. JB, Kelsey, Spencer. Congrats, guys. You did it. You've gone as far as you can go in this game. Now the power is going to be shipped away from you and to the last few guys you voted out. You will help decide the winner of this game, along with the whole jury. And we will talk about a time after this ends, figure it out, and go from there. But enjoy. Congratulations. You guys have earned it. And good night.